everyone, welcome back. We are doing our Christmas giraffe today. He is one of my favorites. I don't know what it is about a giraffe. They're just so fun. For this one, we want our picture in portrait, so taller than it is wide. And we're going to start with the muzzle of this giraffe, kind of right in the middle and then down a little bit. We do want a long neck, but we want to make sure we have enough room for the hat. So don't draw this overly big. We're going to start with a wide U shape, like the beginning of an oval. And then on top, we're going to do a little hill on each side, and then a little curve down or a valley in the middle. We're going to add two little nostrils on either side of those hills, and they look like a comma. So it's like a circle with a tiny little shark fin at the bottom, and then you just erase that circle that connects it, or the line of the circle that connects it. But we're going to color these in dark because they're going to be shadowed. So if you want to leave the line there, that's okay. Over the top edge of those, we do want to add a little curved line that indicates that wrinkle or that indentation that goes next to their nostril. And then a little line across the bottom for the mouth. Next, we're going to add the eyes. We're going to start by adding two sideways letter V's that are wide open. It almost makes it look like this giraffe is blinking, but it's just those eyelashes that giraffes have that are over the top big. We want to make the top one be a little longer than the bottom one. And we want to make these dimensional. So I just did a little curved line down and then another curved line to that side. That on both sides. Don't make them too tall. We want them pretty thin. Even this one here is a little too tall because we still have to fit an eyeball in there. There we go. Oops. Then we're going to add those eyeballs in there. So we're going to start by doing a sideways rainbow to create the outside edge of the eyeball. And then we'll do one more line right next to it to create the separation from the colored part of the eye and the pupil. And inside, we're going to add a tiny little curve going the other way to indicate that little white corner that we have that's pink in our eyes. It's a tiny little corner on the inside edge of the eye. And then we also want to add a little highlight and pupil. I know they look a little angry right now, but once you get them colored in, they will look super cute and fancy like a giraffe. There they are a little closer up so you can see all the details. I actually did two of those little lines on the inside edge so that you get the colored part of the outer edge, and in the middle is going to be black, and then those little circles inside will stay white. Next, we're going to add the hat on top of its head. So just above its eyes, we're going to add a rectangular shape for the brim of the hat. That one's really tall and thick. I made it quite that big. And I purposely don't make my lines straight because I like them to be a little soft and fluffy. So I just imagine that that's what's going to happen. I usually add my little pom-pom on top first, centered above there. And then just go from the edge of my pom-pom down to the edge of my hat on both sides to create the triangle of his hat. If you want to do a cool pattern in his hat, you totally can. I might do a checker plaid kind of look. I'm doing some different sets of stripes. You could do polka dots, snowflakes, or even just color it in solid. Next, we're going to add the sides of our giraffe's head. Now, at the top of their head, it's going to be widest and it's going to curve inward and get more narrow as we get to its jaw. So we want this top line from the edge of the hat to curve out towards the eyeball there. And then when we start back on the other end of the eyeball, the bottom side, we want to curve inward, creating that thinner face down there. So it's wider at the top and then gets thinner as we go down. And I know it doesn't look like a giraffe yet. Don't worry, it will. In that space between the hat and the eyes, we're going to add those ears. I just do a big, long, wide curve and then a big curve back the other way. And then from the top corner of the ear, just create a little section. This is going to be the outer fur part of the ear, and this will be the inner flesh part of the ear. Do that on both sides. This one is a little smaller, so I'm just going to add that curved part right on top by doing that. So you can make it work. Giraffes have pretty big ears for the size of their face, but mine are excessively big and I think they're cute. All right, I promise he will look like a giraffe though, just not yet. Next, we're going to add his little neck. So halfway down from the right side of his eyeball and his little nostril here, we're going to start and just do a line that curves downward. It can go off on the side of your page or way up at the top. It's up to you. Then starting halfway across his mouth there, right in the middle, and then move to the right just a little bit. We're going to create that neck, keeping this about the same distance apart for halfway down. And then this part will curve out because we're going to get to see more of his body because his neck is long, but then it's curving out and it's going to be his chest area here. Now is when he starts to look like a giraffe. So I'm going to use my pen to show you this. We want to make sure that we alternate sides for his neck spots. So neck spots are not a specific shape. I imagine them like taking a bottle of school glue and squeezing it and seeing that blob that ends up on the paper. That's kind of the shape we're going for. So I just do kind of a wavy line. And I start with my first spot on the right side of his neck. And then I do one on the left side. Then we're going to do one in the middle. And we want to make sure we leave a space between these spots so that we see the fur of the giraffe. I'm going to go back to the right and then back to the left. And then back in the center. Almost like a puzzle that creates a maze between all of its spots. Keep doing that until you get all the way down the neck. The further down the neck you go, actually, the bigger the spots will get. And then we're going to do the same thing up the center of his forehead here, but these are going to be much smaller on his face and a little bit closer together. They will still have a gap, but it won't be nearly as big. You can even have him kind of hiding up under his hat there. And there you have your giraffe. I like to outline everything with a black marker and then go through and color it. You can do it traditional colors or you can make it Christmassy colors, whatever you'd like. Be sure to send me yours or post it in the classroom. I can't wait to see how it turns out.
Don't forget to post your finished project either in our student forum on Facebook, Studio CIA Student Projects, or on our website in our community forum, linked below. Be sure to come back for another drawing soon. Bye, everyone.